Hi, I'm the Alloy Geek, and in this video, we're going to take a look at the Niton XL2 Plus, a handheld XRF analyzer from Thermo. Now, this analyzer itself has been the backbone of the scrap metal recycling and many foundries around the US for many years. Thermo does a great job with their calibrations, and we're going to take a look at what comes with your analyzer. So first, let's start off with the analyzer itself. This is where all the money is. This is an expensive piece of equipment. It has basically simple computers inside that do the analysis and basically make it easy for you to run with an easy to use interface. There's both buttons down below in the analyzer, and the screen also is very bright. Now I've got it off for the sake of this demo, but you'll see the screen in future videos. Now the front end is the business end. That's where the x-rays come out of this little hole here. And there's an x-ray tube and a detector back there. And so to use the x-ray, basically all you have to do is put something in front of that. Now mine's powered off so I can put my hand in front of it. If this was a live device, you would not want to do that for safety reasons. So what comes in the box with your analyzer? First of all the documentation that comes with it is very important. Now, I know this stuff might seem boring to some of you, but this is important because it includes the x-ray survey, the calibration data, a lot of great information, and as well as some guides for how to do certain things with your analyzer. So you'll need this information to register your XRF with your local state government. Could be just another government or municipality if you're a global customer, but in the US, it's typically a state government that you register with. So let's set that aside. In that same packet, there's going to be a Thermo flash drive. That's going to have the user manual on it. Now the user manual is incredibly useful. I know I get a lot of eye rolls. People say, yeah, the manual, I don't want to touch it. But the manual in a digital format, you can not only does it have a great table of contents, but you can also control F, and that lets you search for exactly the issue that you need or the thing you want to learn to do with your analyzer. Really useful to have that, as well as some other documentation that comes with your analyzer. There's also going to be some windows that come with it. These are called XRF Windows. They go in front of the analyzer to seal it. So they each come pre-packaged in a little baggie, and I'm going to show you the front of the analyzer here, and you'll see there's a little hole, and you'll be able to just see that film in the light on the front. And if that ever gets punctured, you need to change it right away. It can also get dirty, especially if you're in an industrial application, maybe out in the field, maybe metal recycling. So that's really important to know as well. So this little front black plate comes off, and I'll link a video here to show you exactly how to do that. I've got a video tutorial on how to change the window. Okay. The next thing that's going to come with your analyzer is going to be a USB cable. Now this is going to let you not only use the software with your analyzer, but it's also going to let you download the data. So that's a really great way to do it. It's very simple. Everybody's got access to USB. If you're having trouble downloading the data and you're with a big company that has an IT department, 99% of the time its IT is blocked something in the realm of getting your data. So if you're having any trouble with that, the first thing to do is say, hey IT, are you blocking USBs? And if they are, you have to make an exception with this or work with your IT department to resolve that. The next things that come with it, you typically are going to get two batteries, just like this. They look kind of, I guess, like a holster or like a clip that would go in a gun. They are basically just a brick of battery inside of this thing. They're pretty heavy and they last a long time. So you should get 6 to 8 hours of use with your XRF with a battery in it. So pretty cool there. To charge the batteries, of course, they give you a battery charger. You can plug your device in too on the back of the device. I should show you guys that too. On the back, there's a little port with all of the the USB port and the power port. You can plug in there as well, but I always recommend people to keep their backup battery charged. And although your analyzer will typically come with two batteries, I would recommend that you would buy an extra 2 to 3 batteries. And the reason I say that is in the workplace, if you're not the only user of the device, it's going to really help you out to make sure there's always something on the charger. I used to recommend 2 batteries being the end-all, be-all. In today's world, I recommend 3 to 5 batteries. That makes sure you have continuous power in case you have a colleague that uses it, maybe doesn't charge things, or there's an extended use operation. People will take these devices and they'll go out in the field. Some facilities are big enough you've got to drive to the back of the facility. If that's not you, 2 batteries is probably fine. If you've got large facilities and many users, pick up a couple extra batteries. You'll thank me later. So this battery charger, it's got 3 little LEDs on the front. They turn green, yellow, and red like a standard battery charger to tell you when the battery is charging and when it has completed charging. So the power cable, I don't have the USA power plug here, but it comes with this little barrel plug that plugs into the back of the unit. I'll show you that on video here. And then also into the back of the charger. It's the same one. So that lets you basically power anything that you need. Now, with the batteries, there is a battery caddy. That's what this funny looking thing is. The batteries actually just they just slide in. You can see the profile there. And when they're in there, it's going to protect them from the elements. This is really helpful with large facilities or mining applications where you're in the field. Things can be dusty, dirty, rainy, and that's a way to keep things clean and dry and take mobile power with you without having to take the case. With your analyzer, there's also going to be certified reference materials. Now, this one here is the Niton 1 1/4 chrome half moly. So the 1 1/4 chrome half moly is a great check for kind of your steels and stainless steels to make sure your analyzer is actually reading properly. And if anybody ever questions your analyzer, you can whip this baby out and do a test and say, hey, look how close we are to this certified reference material. And then you can start troubleshooting some other ways. Well, maybe whatever alloy you're shooting really is funky. And if it really is, then you have to figure out what to do with that. Now there's another class, this sample here covers basically heavy elements, but for light elements, you're gonna want something like this. This is an aluminum check sample. It's a 6061 aluminum, and this is gonna make sure that your analyzer is reading properly. There are 2 beams that come with, that you can get with your Niton XL2 Plus. The beams are a heavy element beam, which is gonna do all your heavy elements like nickel, iron, chrome, and then for things like aluminum, silicon, manganese, not manganese, I meant magnesium, and don't confuse the 2. Those elements are going to be sorted with the light element beam, and because they're 2 separate beams, it's always good to have a reference material that is of the beam that you're using. And I would go one step further to say, yeah, these might come with it. A 6061 aluminum is a good, check for your analyzer. But if you're dealing with Inconels, like nickel alloys, cobalt alloys, really exotic stainless steels, this sample here isn't going to be good enough. You're going to want to purchase an additional reference material. You can find those on alloygeek.com as well. And those reference materials might be like a 625 nickel-based alloy, or an Inconel 600. An Alloy, 800, something like that, that's more close to what you're working with. It doesn't have to be exact, it just has to have roughly the elemental composition that you're working with. And the same's true for aluminum. So if you're dealing with a lot of 5000 series aluminum, picking up a 5052 sample of aluminum off of alloygeek.com would be a great thing to do. You could also get a 7075 aluminum if you're dealing with aerospace parts, or a 7050, which is pretty commonly used now in place of 7075. So that's enough about reference materials. And that's pretty much it. I guess this holster comes with it as well. I would use this if I was out in the field with the analyzer. The analyzer just slides right into it. It looks really cumbersome. It's actually a great holster to use. There's a little pocket, a zipper pocket here. This is actually, it straps around your waist for your belt. But where that's useful is a lot of mining applications, or again, people that are using an analyzer all day, they're walking around the shop saying, hey, what's that metal there? Get that one on here, put the right one in there. That's a great way to do that. So all in all, that's what comes with it. We'll go through some more use videos coming up soon, but thanks for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time.